It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me here. I really appreciate it too. Looking forward to having a great conversation.
Me too. It's a pleasure. So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years
Mhm.
ago, one of the biggest events of our life was COVID, getting through that time period. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you approach things today?
See, when people say 6 years ago we were in the middle of a COVID, and that changed me, for me, I mean, of course, it's a matter of perspective, but for me, things were already broken. For me, in 2018, that's even like 8 years ago, I went through a major crash. And I was still in the middle of coping up, grieving, reestablishing myself, putting back my finances together, getting my child out of trouble. And then COVID happened. Okay. So
Yeah.
initially, like the whole world, I was overwhelmed. I felt trapped. There were a lot of fears and uncertainties, what tomorrow holds. And as I navigated through it, I slowly slipped into this internal zone of mine. And that COVID zone in which, all of us were busy doing household chores, things that, the smallest of the things that needed attention, those came to our awareness. Those fast things, that we are caught up in, but we get missed, those things, they came into attention. And it was in that particular time, I feel that, though the whole world was suffering, but all of us, in a way, we also took in the inner dive. So I went back to my plants. I went back to connecting with myself again. I had very deep questions for myself that why exactly my life turned out to be the way it actually turned out to be. And what did I do wrong in the whole process? And the whole COVID thing, it gave me this opportunity to deeply reflect and meditate and find my answers, not just for myself, but to find a way forward for my family, for my child. And in the whole midst of it, a lot of blessings came to me, a lot of knockings that I would have not otherwise paid attention to in the middle of the general chaos, which we all had assumed was life. I think post COVID, everybody is different.
Yeah, so going through that journey, that long journey, has that emboldened and strengthened your backbone for what you bring to your clients?
Yes, I think in the process of me finding my own breakthroughs, navigating my own breakdowns, I would say. There were lots and lots of realizations of who am I? Am I someone who needs to toe the general rule book that the society has laid out to be? So, just to give you a little bit of backstory. So I'm a food technologist, okay? I'm someone who specializes in food science, microbiology, food chemistry, packaging, and stuff like that. And after that, I did my post graduation in pursuing business administration. And I went into banking and financing and everything after that. But that was not my calling. I'm someone who always follow my heart. I'm always very passionate about the things I do. And I always bring in my 100% to everything that I do. I started my own food business. I started with the central kitchen, a lot of catering, a lot of corporate catering, a lot of packaged nutritious food, very well recognized, running beautifully well. 7, 8 years into it, the business in general went through its highs and low. In the whole journey, I became mother. Then the point came in 2018 when I realized the business is no longer working because my attention is now back at my home. And at that point of time, my child was diagnosed on being on an autistic spectrum. And I was so devastated by it. Plus, so many things in the business had hit a standstill. And no matter whatever I do, you sometimes feel stuck. I have uh, added additional business lines and verticals. I've changed the model. I've changed the place. I've geared up for a bigger journey. But that time, I had also scaled up my business, took on more loans, and it was all of this should have actually accelerated my success. But somehow my whole body was telling me something is wrong. I had by then depression, which I did not know and I did not recognize. I thought it was stress because I'm handling everything all by myself. And my child is very young. He was frequently falling sick. We had no support. We had, of course, we had house help and all, but we had no family to support us during that time. My husband was working. I was running business full time. The baby is young. So I thought all of this must be stress, nothing serious. Of course, I was going through a mental health crisis, but you know how we normalize all the chaos in our head? It's normal. I'm hearing thoughts which are so loud that I want to shut down the business. I'm not sure any longer if I want to do this business any longer. Another voice in my head would say, but this business is like your baby. You started it so young. Why you want to now abandon when everything is going good? Then, despite all the efforts, I will hit wall after wall after wall. And all of this chaos is happening. Okay, this is all happening in the background. I'm already in double mind. My body is showing all kind of symptoms. Like I remember my left calf muscle, it broke down. It was swollen up as big as my thigh. And I went to the doctor. Doctor said, "Did you fall anywhere?" I said, "No." I said, "Did you had an injury?" I said, "No." I said, "Did something happen?" I said, "No." They ran all the tests. Nothing came out. So what happened is that we don't know what's happening. You just take rest. Now, 8 years later, I realized that this was my body telling me that, Mridula, you're walking on a path which you're not okay to walk on.
Yeah.
Because of which my body was actually physically objecting. But because we are so caught up in our logic that, once the business scales to this level, I will sell it off and then I will quit. And by then my baby would also be okay. And, we all are so sold on certain visions that we forget to listen to our own self. What do we really want? And amidst all of this, 2018, I had to literally give a screeching halt to my business. So that was like 1.5 crore rupees in debt, which is like approximately close to a million, maybe not million. I don't know how much it is. It's a pretty big amount.
Yeah.
Crore rupees is pretty big amount. That was we had a house that had to be double mortgage. We had to take another mortgage over the house. My husband had to, we had to really my father, my father-in-law, everybody had to pool the money. Everything we had in the savings was lost. Plus, we were lost by the time 2018 ended. The child was already on an autistic spectrum, and myself, I was in a big mess. What did I do wrong to deserve this? Why did this happen to me? I was always a topper student, plus the shame that, I failed at the business. Then, the snide comments come in. Oh, you're so ambitious. Women cannot have it all. You should know your priorities. All of this is also taking toll on the relationship, the marriage. You did wrong and you did this wrong and I did this wrong and stuff like that. So by the time the COVID hit, it was already a big melting pot in my own head.
Yeah.
And you already feel traumatized in spite of everything doing wrong, everything doing right, everything is going wrong. So when I have to pull myself out of this, and if in my head in 2020, if I'm back to that time, if I think in the next 5 years, I will be helping someone else out of these deep abyss, that was impossible. I was I was completely sunk till the bottom.
Yeah.
So to find hope again, not just hope, to even feel happy for a moment was impossible. And in that moment, you cannot afford to crash. You have a child to still take care of. You still have to function. Otherwise, if I will not get up, for sure, what will happen to my child? He will only get worse. Fixing the marriage was like on the last thing. Let's get the finances back in order. Let's get the health back in order. We cannot lose time.
Yeah.
So there was no time to grieve. There was nothing that, it was almost I was in a zombie mode. I was just working and working and working, numb, completely numb and broken. So I meet people every day now who are precisely where I have been,
Yeah.
and sometimes even worse. And now the debate in that moment, they are going, and even I am contemplating, I have also contemplated, maybe I am overachieving, trying to overreach the stars. Maybe things were supposed to be this way. Maybe my dreams were too big. They did not meet the reality. You begin doubting your own self.
Yeah.
And part of you feels, maybe if I should accept that this is how my life is going to be, maybe if I should give up, then things would be easy. The problem is not that I failed, the problem is because I dreamt. And that takes you down through a very, very dark road.
Yeah.
Pulling myself out of this gave me answers which are required for anyone to wake up and dissect and realize you did not do anything wrong. When you did certain things at that point of time, your heart was set on different things. And as you went ahead onto that path, you failed to listen to your own self. That my whole body was telling me I need to shut down the business. I did not listen. My whole being was telling me something was off with my child. And though I was taking my child to the variety of doctors, I felt helpless because I knew that it was not going anywhere. That was enough for me, of a cue for me to reprioritize myself. So it was not that the God was punishing me, God was all the way trying to help me.
Yeah, I get it. My son's on the spectrum. He's 21. I totally get it. I understand. So how is everything with your son now?
He is perfectly perfect.
How old is he?
He's now almost 12.
Okay.
And after I shut down the business, I went back to my energy practice because that was the first time after many, many years that I could connect back to my psychic gifts that I always had. So one night while I was asleep, I had a very vivid dream that I was back to the classroom where first time I had learned Reiki. That was in school days when I was in class 10th. And when I woke up from that dream, I vividly remember my then master telling me that, human beings are quite foolish beings. When someone falls sick, they go to the doctor. When the one doctor fails, they go to second doctor. When allopathy fails, they go to alternative sciences. When alternative sciences fails, then they will go to some other kind of quacks. When everything has failed, then they will go to the temple or the church or some place to pray to the God. In the end, and then God laughs. I'm the most supreme being on the whole universe. You're coming to me in the end. I'm the last one you seek out. So then God says, my master said, don't make such mistake. If you have a problem, the first thing you should do is do Reiki. Of course, I followed this exactly the same line of stupidity that my master had foretold. And after he came to my dream, I re-remembered what he had said. And I did Reiki for my son.
Yeah.
And in by 15th day, I could see that there was a visible difference. He was not regressing. There was a lag for sure. In his development, he had missed a lot of milestones, but he was not regressing because it had come to a point that its speech had become blurred. If I would talk to him, I would know that he's not getting me. His behavior was really off. All those distractions that he would create, those had stopped. He was back to his normal. Though there was still lag. If I compared him to another children at that age, there was still milestones he clearly had missed. So there was work to be done, but I knew that he was no longer regressing. So my first task during the entire COVID became, and I somehow feel that, my son became my helpline. Because had I not had a responsibility to take care of my son in the moment, I was spiraling out of control because I had to. Yes, go
Yeah,
on.
no. I totally get it. I totally get it. So in a serendipitous way, he was actually a big key to you healing yourself.
Yes, because I had to do it. And as I was healing him, as I was taking care of him, I had to also face a lot of ugly truths about choices that I had taken. What was driving me to take, what drove me to make those choices in first place. I also had to take a hard look at the relationship I had with my husband back then. What exactly did I want from it? To the point that I also contemplated about ending the relationship because if it is not going to work, it is not going to work. But saying this is easy. In that moment in 21, 22 around, when you look back and you feel, oh my God, you were a topper student, most promising golden girl of the school or a college, and now here you are into a divorce with a autistic spectrum child, into a deep mess. This is not a place anybody wants to be.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what you do today exactly for your clients. If I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day in a school, and one of the kids wanted to know what you do for a living, how do you explain that to them?
So 12 years old, typically, there comes an age at the age of 12-year-old when there are certain things you want to be. You want to go out, make friends, have fun, you want to enjoy learning and this and that. You want to be attended to in a way that you want to be attended to. You want to explore the world freely. So this is what you want to do. This is your inner circle, inner feelings, okay? Inner sanctum, I would say. But moment you go out in the world, you learn very hard way. World is not a safe place. You have to wear mask. You have to adopt strategies to survive, whether bullies or whatever. You have to earn the respect. You have to earn the love. You have to prove yourself. Otherwise, you are labeled loser. So those two worlds are different. What you want to be and what you're forced to be.
Yeah.
And all of us from an early age, we learn to put on a mask. We learn to adopt different strategies and personalities and personas. When we are with our friends, we are under obligation and pressure to be cool and be the blue-eyed person or whatever. What I do is I help people being them
Yeah.
so that they can be themselves and still deal with the world without it corrupting them.
So what did you want to be when you were that age? When you were 12 or 13 years old, what was your dream life?
So when I was 12 and 13, my dream life was that I would study well, like any other normal person. I would study well, crack a good college, get myself married to a nice guy, who I will marry, and I will do my own business. I don't know what line of things. This was my dream line. I'll be very successful, a lot of money, a lot of success. This is the script, no? People follow this script.
Yeah.
12 years old have scripts in their head. They're
Yeah.
not trying to understand what they want to do. They're trying to absorb what is expected out of them.
So So who's been that inspiration for you to get through these dark times, to find your footing, to go from one business to a healing modality for people? Because that takes a lot of strength. I mean, you still have to deal with your life and with things that are going on, but you're helping others. Who's been that inspiration that's allowed you to become you?
So I feel everybody has got gifts. And in the sense that, guiding force, I've always had my inner voice. People have one voice, small inner voice, which tells them. I have a big clairaudience, which tells me, hey, Mridula, this is going to happen. Hey, Mridula, you should not be doing this. Hey, Mridula, this is not going to be. So at first, it was very, very terrifying to listen to the things which did not make any sense at all. I said, how is this going to be possible? And boom, it will happen in the next moment. So to own up to your own senses and to own up to your own voice and to become you is the most terrifying thing.
Yeah.
And people take all the roads possible to avoid the one which is destined for them.
Yeah.
And fate has a very tricky way. Okay. I was since 12th class or maybe since I was 12-year old, I was going to study hard, crack certain good college and do my own business and marry a guy. And on the face of it, I checked all the boxes. I did exactly everything I wanted to. But the things that I very much was avoiding, listening to my own voice, understanding my own psychic visions, the blood that flows through my vein already carries certain magic, which I was not willing to own up. And then after 12th class, I was planning to become a doctor. And that was in class 10th around. That was when I officially got initiated into Reiki and all. So every time I would think of becoming a doctor, I would put energy on that future vision where I'm a doctor. I would hear objections. Hey, Mridula, there is so much of, sick people around you. If you go close to such people, you will fall sick, which is true. Lot of problems are there, diabetes, thyroid, lot of lifestyle issues, but they are not really lifestyle issues. And medical science has no treatment for them. So in short, the question would come to me, do I really want to learn the science which looks incomplete? So this was the road I avoided. The result of it was twice I attempted medical exam. And here in India, it's very, very competitive. All over India, there are hardly 500 seats for becoming a doctor. Lakhs and lakhs of children apply. Both the times I missed by 1 marks. So
Wow.
a lot of angst was there in my heart that because of 1 marks, I could not become a doctor. And inner part of me knew I did not want to be a doctor, but I did not admit it to myself. I did not make it clear to my parents that these are my reservations. I did not handle all of those objections. What am I doing now? Same thing. I'm dealing with distressed people every day. handling their emotions, healing their diseases, understanding I've cracked the exact same code that I had questions about or why diabetes is happening. Every day we are getting clients, we are reversing that with healing. Every day, sometimes tumors, sometimes fibroids, sometimes skin allergies, things which have no medical explanations, but the roots of it lies in energy science.
Yeah.
So what was the problem? Was I not following the script was the problem, or was I not following my script that was the problem?
So, of everything that you've done to overcome all of these obstacles to evolve to where you're at now, what are you the proudest of? What are you the happiest about that you've accomplished?
I think, when someone is really deep in abyss, I think that is when you are really at the lowest and you're praying that, God miraculously just sends someone and you are healed, to be saved from that dark spot. I think it's one of the biggest blessing to be in that position that now I know that there are so many people, like depression is by far recorded the most afflicted in the world. It's not cancer, it's not diabetes, it's not anything. People are most afflicted by depression, which is uncurable. But to be able to get people out of it without it ever, I mean, it's irreversible recovery. You will never get back to where you were. And to help people through their darkness into the light, I think that has been a very biggest blessing, not just to myself, but to anyone. And the thing is repeatable. You can do it. Even if you give me 10,000 people, it is still doable. The same formula applies and you can still do it.
So, I believe being in this special needs community for 21 years with my son, that there is something absolutely special about these kids.
Yes.
What they bring, who they are. We have this idea, this ingredient list of what's supposed to be the way life works, but they rearrange all of that. But
Yes.
they also bring you to realizations about this reality that are wondrous. What have you learned about this life that you never thought you would learn until you had your son?
See, the way special needs children view the world is very different. It's very script defined. Okay. And we are locked up in our scripts. We feel this is the way. It is not them who needs a change. It is us who need a change.
Yeah,
Okay. And children are born to teach you the lessons which you are supposed to learn. If someone is extremely rigid as a person, this is how it should be, this is how it should be, this is how it should be, the child will be born to you probably who will be completely imaginative, curious, visually very different. And you may feel the child is on ADHD. The child is not ADHD. The rate and speed at which they can visually crack the problem, thousands of permutation combination. You know how you have Rubik cube? It's only three-dimensional, but in their head, all of us in our head, we are solving the problem in millions of ways at a very lightning speed. That
yeah,
is called as quantum possibilities. Okay. ADHD people, they are able to vibrate at a level that everything around them is a blur. And they are doing that quantum maths at a very high level. To us, that looks abnormal, but everybody's normal is different.
yeah.
And if you get an opportunity, if you have the ability to step in into their world, you will soon realize they are having a far higher logic levels than ours.
Totally get it.
They are not able to fit in the world. But the thing is, we are also not able to fit in this world.
Yeah. What a great way of looking at it. So let me ask you this. At the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you: family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, works with you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think every person has multiple personalities and personas. And I think that, it's like mixology. You should have all the ingredients and you should have the ability to mix it right in that moment. That's how we mutate the energy in that requirement. A lot of times I may be losing it. At the end of the day, I'm still human. But I also know that with whatever aura, whatever energy, whatever frequency I now vibrated, I also know for a fact that if I have entered a room and if my presence is there in the room, whether in their head or in their heart or physically, I know my energy is making a difference, a positive difference into everybody's life that I come into touch with. To some, I may be friends, and I've got friends who are also my clients, and we might be going for parties, but we are also doing healing sessions, and they're also getting breakthroughs with me without me having to take a burden. Oh, I have now become their mentor, so my distance is changed. No, to be able to be very, very flexible like water, mutate wherever you need to be. That's the biggest blessing, so that you can wear all the mask at the right moment. You can be
Yeah.
the queen, you can be the cloud, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Often in a split second you can change.
Yeah. I totally get it. So who out there should be reaching out to you to heal, transform? Who would be an ideal client to reach out to you right now?
So usually three kind of clients categories reach out to me. First category of clients is who are broken emotionally, physically, financially. Something has happened in their life. They could be in complete ruins. Maybe they have already tried a lot of things, but now they're at this point where whatever was their original thought about their life, their plan, that has all gone down the trash. They know if they continue like this, it's it's a lose-lose game any which ways. And they are desperate because they're really at the darkest end of the abyss. They need help. They cannot crawl out of that tunnel by themselves.
Yeah.
Either those people reach out to me. The second category of people who reach out to me is life is going good. There are no complaints, but I'm not reaching my full potential. I haven't had promotions since last so many years. The rate and speed at which I am growing, by the end of 50 years, I will just be covering one house debt. I have one child. It will be a miracle if I put the child through the college and have enough saved up for me and my wife or my spouse. And it will be a real miracle if during all of this, I'll be having uh, zero health issues and zero personal conflict. So they know they are on the right track, but they also know this is not a good plan.
Yeah.
And they're very dissatisfied with the growth that they are having.
Yeah.
Or they have very high aspirations, but they don't know how to get there. So, in essential, these people are also stuck. They are also in pain, but they're in a very different kind of pain. This is a very suffocation pain that I'm stuck in one bubble, not able to break out of it. Those are the very, very, so in this category, I have students, people who are brimming with potential, not going anywhere. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of startups, people who are working professionals who are trying to balance home and the office. All those category of people are there who want to get more out of life. They're not without burning themselves, without it coming at the cost of their health or on their relationship or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that requires a very different kind of mastery, how you can enjoy the wonders of the world while not spilling a single drop of oil from your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very different kind of mastery of energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Those people are my clients. And then there are third kind of clients, people who have had it all. I'm having my passive income, I'm having my job, my career, my setup, everything is done. My children are all settled. My relationship is great. My health is great. Okay, great. Now what do you want? Oh, I don't know. Life seems bored. It's repetition, everyday golf and clubs and parties and this and that. It's empty now. I need something, a bigger purpose, which can drive me, which is no longer just, venture capitalist meetings or places I can invest. I want to be invested into some greater cause.
Yeah.
So I've ran the script. I'm successful. Now let's do things that I really want to do.
Exactly. So if people want to take that next step or reach out, book an appointment, how do they do it?
So we do have of course, a calendar. They can book out. There's a very small fees. You can book like up to 45 minutes or 2 hours of my time, and we can figure out what your next step can look like, wherever you are, what level you are at, what should be the next level for you. And if you're willing, we walk forward. So the process is simple. You first book a discovery call or a clarity call with me. And then if you're okay with it, go with a deep diagnostic in which we undergo a very deep, understanding of what patterns in your life are plaguing.
Yeah.
What chakras, what energies, what nadis are broken, what must be true for your ancestors, what patterns have you inherited, what are your own. And we make a systematic list. There are one-to-one sessions in which we break through all the patterns. And then we also have group healings in which you learn from others. You expand yourself. By the end of like 12 sessions, which is like 24 hours, it's done.
Okay.
That's it.
That's wonderful. I will put all of these links in the show notes. This has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for your story. What a courageous, wonderful story. I appreciate it, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me here. It's been lovely to connect with you, and I would also like to meet your son.